Living language.
Hello and welcome to Living Language with me Suvarna Khemdang from Faculty of Liberal Arts, Rajmongkol University of Technology, Pranakon. This program is brought to you by RMUTP English Online. You can listen to our programs at englishonline.rmutp.ac.th and Facebook page, also YouTube channel RMUTP Live. In Training Words today, we are going to talk about the pair words and followed by language learning tips and of course RMUTP news. Stay tuned.
Trendy words.
In Trendy Words today, I'm going to talk about pair words. Pair words are something that can help us learning new vocabularies because in English, there are certain word pairs that always go together. If you try to reverse their order, it sounds weird to a native speaker. So today, I'm going to show you a few popular examples of English pair words. The first one is the bacon and eggs. BACONEGGS. Bacon and eggs. The two words that randomly sound and work together well. And bacon and eggs is a dish or a meal, is a traditional English breakfast. In the sentence, we use bacon and eggs like, would you like some bacon and eggs for breakfast? This is the example of using these pair words together. The next one is back and forth. BACK and FORTH. Back and forth is moving first in one direction and then in the opposite one. So we use this pair in the sentence. For example, they kept on arguing back and forth. That means they cannot stop arguing at all. They start arguing and then they stop and then they start again. So they kept on arguing back and forth. The next one is bed and breakfast. This is a popular kind of accommodations, especially in England. It's a sleeping accommodations for a night and a morning meal. We call this in short as BB. It's like very convenient and we can save the budget of making trips if we can find a BB, the bed and breakfast. For example, we stay in a beautiful little bed and breakfast by the beach. And this is the example of the sentence with bed and breakfast. Right now, the accommodation like this, the BB, is very popular because we can control the budget and that means we don't want anything high-end. So we just go and stay for one night, eat something simple and move to another cities or another places. And we have enough money to stay longer. So the BB or bed and breakfast is very popular right now. Next pair is the brick and mortar. Brick, BRICK, and mortar, MORTAR. This means buildings. It's like in the sentence, like it's an online only store. It doesn't have any brick and mortar locations. This means that no buildings for the store, only online. So you cannot drive there or you cannot walk in or anything because it doesn't have any brick and mortar location. The next pair is bride and groom. This is maybe something someone is dreaming about. To be a bride or a groom is about getting married. So it's a period that is the start of a family or a new life. Bride and groom. For example, the bride and groom looked so happy walking down the street together. Or the bride and groom look so happy walking down the stair together. This the example of bride and groom. Next one is the business and pleasure. So business is something serious. Pleasure is something enjoyable. So this pair can be used in some different meanings, like to do something enjoyable that is related to one's work, or trying not to do thing together. Like if you want to do business, you have to be serious. If you want to get pleasure, you have to go on vacation, something like that. So in the sentence like, I try not to mix business and pleasure. This is the meaning of working seriously and not making it enjoyable at all. So I try not to mix business and pleasure together. The next pair is cause and effect. The cause and effect means things happen because of something. A cause is why something happens, and effect is the result. For example, there is a clear cause and effect to the situation that you find yourself in. This is the example of the sentence. Next one is coffee and donuts. Is of course is something like for a snack or coffee break. And if you want to have coffee and donuts, they always be together. Would you like to get some coffee and donuts for breakfast? This one is like can take coffee and donuts for breakfast. The next one is cream and sugar. Do you take cream and sugar with your coffee? These two things are for making coffee white or black. If you don't want cream, it can be black coffee. But sometimes black coffee can be with sugar, or like if you say no cream, no sugar, it's pure black coffee. So cream and sugar always be together. Dead or alive. Dead or alive. This is we saw this in the poster talking about the crime or criminal. Like in the sentence, the wanted poster said that they wanted the criminal dead or alive. That means you can kill him or her, or you can just bring her or him alive. So this is the dead or alive. Fun and games. Fun and games are about talking about something that is a hobby or something in sports, or doing something pleasure. Is, for example, in the sentence, is all fun and games until someone gets hurt. So everything going on, fun and games until something happens. Something like that. Front and center. Front and center, the position in doing something. For example, the teacher told me to stand front and center to give my presentation. That means you have to go out in the front and stand in the center of the room to speak. This is the front and center. Because when we go out in the front of the classroom, we can be at one corner. But if we say front and center, that means you have to be in the center. Next pair is hammer and nail. Hammer and nail means trying hard or work hard. For example, in the sentence, this job requires a hammer and nail to complete. So the hammer and nail. Knife and fork is a utensils used together. Can you set knife and forks on the table? This is to set the table, dining table put knife and forks together. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another pair that always go together. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? We use this in gaining attention, in addressing people, in a meeting or everywhere, and we want their attention, so we just address them, ladies and gentlemen. Boys or girls, or some right now there's something else in addition to ladies and gentlemen. We can talk about that later, because I think you have heard about LGBT or something like that, so it's not only ladies and gentlemen anymore. Next pair is law and order. Law and order. Law and order is the rule of the land. That's something we have to follow and to keep the place peaceful, something like that. Maybe this one related to the next pair, life or death. Life or death, involving the possibility that someone will die if we don't follow law and order. Maybe the people in the society can be in the situation, the possibility that someone will die. A life or death, for example, the people in the sinking boat are in a life or death situation. That means anything can be happen. Lost and found, I think you have heard about this pair before. Lost and found. If you lost something, you can go to this section, lost and found. Someone might find it and leave it somewhere in the place, like in the hotel, in the department store, or in the train stations. They always have lost and found. For example, check the lost and found to see if you can find your lost cell phone. If you lost your cell phone, maybe you can go check there at the lost and found. Someone found it and left it at this center. Pots and pans. Pots and pans is the utensils. I had to clean all the pots and pans. That means you have to clean everything in the kitchen. Rain or shine. This saying that whatever happen, you have to do it. We will be there, rain or shine. This means that we will go there, raining or shining, snowing or whatever weather it is. This thing will happen, rain or shine. Salt and pepper. The salt and pepper. Can you pass me the salt and pepper, please? They always set together in the seasonal utensils. Salt and pepper. Sooner or later, you will need to study if you want to do well in the class. So this pair go together. The last pair that I am bringing to show you is the sweet and sour. I really like sweet and sour chicken. This is a popular menu for chicken. Make it taste sweet and sour and add some vegetables like pineapple, onion, and the sauce, sweet and sour sauce. That's pair words that can help us in learning new words easier.
Language learning tips.
Welcome back to Living Language. And in language learning tips today, I'm going to talk about a technical term in ESL or EFL. Learning is an effective filter. And what is it? We're gonna learn about this filter that is maybe useful or harmful to our language learning. The effective filter is something related to like my own experience, like losing face. When I was assigned to host a radio program in English, I was so nervous and excited and was not sure at all that I can do it or not because of I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to lose face. That is mean to lose other people's respect or like someone will laugh at me, something like that. Losing face is one thing related to the learning tips that we are going to talk about today. That is the affective filter. This is the technical term of Stephen Krashen. He is a well-known name in the EFL industry. Stephen talk about this affective filter with the ideas and theories that have influential in the field of teaching English as a foreign language, mostly because they have stood the test of time. Krashen came up with the 5 hypotheses of learning, one of which is the affective filter hypothesis. So the affective filter basically explains that language cannot be learned if a learner is blocking the learning process. In other words, a learner can be mentally prepared to learn, or they might be hindering this process in some way. So a learner can have a high affective filter or a low affective filter. The higher the filter, the more likely language learning will be impeded. The lower the filter, the more likely that language learning will take place. So we need to have low effective filter, the filter that prevent us from learning the language. So if we have it at the low level, we can learn more. Just like we can think of the effective filter like a mask. When a mask is worn over the whole face, a person will not see anything. So will have difficulty seeing or speaking or even hearing and learning. When the mask is under their chin or when we take the mask off, we will be able to see, to speak, to hear and learn much more easily. So this filter is working that way. So if we have low effective filter, we can learn more. So what causes a high effective filter? Their stress and discomfort will adversely affect learning. In order to be able to learn effectively, a learner should feel safe and comfortable in the learning environment. The learner should not experience high levels of stress or anxiety during the learning process. Plus, the learner should feel motivated to participate in learning activities without worrying about making mistakes. That's what I talked about at the beginning of this part, that for me, losing face is something that I'm thinking before hosting this English radio program. But then again, my motivation is kind of high that, okay, let's try. Or I think my listener or my audience or you, everyone who are listening to this will understand that here in Thailand, English is a foreign language. So we try our best to speak and to communicate with English. So everything we do is to do our best to communicate, to share about what we are doing and or who we are as RMUTP. So effective filter is low right now. So think about it for a minute. The time you are able to study the hardest are probably times when you feel comfortable and safe. You are relaxed and not under any pressure. You feel calm, both mentally and physically. This is what we want to replicate in our EFL classroom or in using English as a foreign language. So how does this affect the learning language? This might all seem very logical to us or to you, but you will be surprised how easily it can be for the learner to feel uncomfortable or tense during a lesson. If you think of situations which require you to do a bit of public speaking or speak with a group of people, you may understand the anxiety students or the speakers may feel when called on in public or in class. So the fear of making a mistake or looking stupid can be overwhelming. So this can also prevent us from speaking up or participating in any activities using the language or foreign languages. This will mean that the learners or the student won't benefit as much from the lesson and won't learn as effectively. So the language learning tip today that I'm sharing is that we have to make this feeling low. So what can we do to lower the affective filter? There are many things we can do to help the situation. Firstly, make sure that the students or we know each other. I think we know each other because I've been hosting the program for a while, so that's why I feel more comfortable speaking English or hosting the program in English. So and we are not new to each other anymore. But if the meeting or the class is a new one, spend some time on getting to know you activities so that the students can become friends. Like I keep telling you several times that I'm learning English and I'm a learner or English language learners, a lifelong English language learner. So I sometimes make mistakes or cannot think of any English words. And anyway, I'm trying my best. And it's much easier to speak in front of friends than strangers. And we won't feel embarrassed about making mistakes. And when we make mistakes, by all means, we can correct. I can be corrected, but don't make a big deal out of it and don't do it in an embarrassing way. And we have to ensure that we treat our students or anyone who are learning language equally. So nobody feels like you are picking on them or making fun of them. And it's also important to bear in mind that the physical environment of the place we are in, like is it a sauna or an igloo, or is there a strong wind blowing through the windows, or are you sitting on top of one another, or we have to make sure that physically we are okay too. We have to make sure that the place is at the right temperature and we are or our students or the learner are as comfortable as possible. Though the affective filter is just one of many theories related to learning a foreign language, is one worth remembering because as a learner or as teacher or the one who are learning languages is something we have a certain amount of control over. And we all know that happy learner, happy students, happy classroom, happy teacher, happy learning, and we learn more. So we need to feel comfortable to learn, to speak, to practice English, and above all, ourselves is the most crucial thing in learning. So if we know about this, we can tell ourselves and we can control our mind to keep learning.
RMUTP News.
The news today is about the congratulations to some successful students of Rachmongkol Pranakon. The first one is congratulations to works of students in the Creative Gems program at the Gem Institute of Thai Jewelry and Design, Rachmongkol Pranakon, that they are in the team that entitled Triple J's, that the member are Mr. Kirapat, Miss Jirapat, and Miss Siriyakon. They are in the final 10 teams in jewelry design. JGAB Young Designer Competition 2023 is a project under the Jewelry and Gem Asian Bangkok 2023 event that we can come cheer and enjoy the work at Queen Sirikit National Convention Center. The second one is about the singing contest that I like to congratulate to Miss Achariya Jindawong, a student of the Faculty of Mass Communication Technology, Rachmongkol Pranakon, that is one who won the first runner-up prize in Look Tung Song competition hosted by the 9 Rachmongkol universities to maintain the Thai cultural heritage that happened on the April 22nd at the University of Technology Isan, Rachmongkol Isan in Chonburi. And that's wrap up the program for today. We have include everything. The first one is trendy words, and then language learning tips and RMUTP news. That's all we have time for today, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. We will meet again same time next week. Please subscribe to our channel on Facebook, YouTube, and online, RMUTP Live, and all the programs can be accessed online at englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ
Living Language